Landing in a southern town, life turned upside down, then turned around. Sounds like a country song, doesn't it? It was 1988. I was 12 years old, and I landed in the deep South, Augusta, Georgia. Before Augusta, I lived in California, Korea, and India. And I was like, what is this Indian kid doing in Martinez, Georgia? As we landed on Christmas Eve, my mother had a life-threatening stroke. Her chance of survival, 2%. Family from all around the world banded together at our house in Augusta, Georgia. I cried and cried and cried and realized I was the only man crying in the room. Is crying only for females? And later on in life, it occurred to me that crying in times of sadness shows strength. After 51 nights in the intensive care unit, a miracle, my mother survived. She went through a year of not being able to walk, not being able to talk, but her first words were to me in a beautiful whisper, "Hi, Ashish." Her recovery was physically slow, but she was so mentally and emotionally strong. And as a teenage boy, I tried to be by her side as much as I could. She had a bring-it-on attitude with her physical therapists, her recreational therapists, her occupational therapists. She said, "I don't want to walk 50 steps, I want to walk 50 miles." At a very, very early age, I realized women are strong. During my high school years, I didn't have my mom taking care of me. I was taking care of her. So I learned to be independent, learning the difference between laundry detergent and dishwasher detergent, cleaning toilets, making my own school lunches. Imagine what I had for lunch. And even buying feminine products at the grocery store. Very uncommon for a teenager in the Deep South. These are traditional women's duties. There were some tough days during those high school years, but the sun did shine. And you know who brought that sunshine? My sister. That wand of sunshine. She's 15 months elder to me and 2 inches taller, so literally I've always looked up to her. She gave me the confidence to venture out of my comfort zone. And we became the first Indian brother and sister team to play high school varsity basketball in the state of Georgia. Thank you. Aditi, her name means first mother, a protective goddess who helps you overcome obstacles at a time when I needed her the most. She calmed me down emotionally and mentally when I was suffering, as we were missing our mother in our daily life. As the sun shined, it also sets. There were some dark days. Depression set in. I quit the basketball team. I started hanging out with some shady folks. In the shadiest parts of Augusta. It was a difficult time, and I was a difficult child, and I was ready to end it all. But I realized, you know what? I think I get one phone call. I called my high school psychology teacher, Mrs. Annette Bridges, and she talked me off that ledge. She resuscitated me. She was an angel. Like so many of the strong, amazing women in my life. Upon graduation, I followed my sister to the University of Georgia, where I excelled in the college juggling team at the cost of failing calculus. What Indian fails math? So I transferred to Oglethorpe University in Atlanta, Georgia. I excelled academically, I passed calculus, and I took interesting classes that my sister told me to go outside of my comfort zone and adventure into the great ideas of modern math. And I took a feminist theater class. It was great, I was the only guy in class. Upon graduation, you would think a college Indian graduate should go to law school, should go to med school, go get his MBA. But no, my mother and father said, take an adventure to India. So I traveled to India. I was 20 years old. I felt like a tourist in my own country. But as my shoes traveled to over 45 cities, over 180 days, meeting hundreds of family members and friends, a backpack of the same clothes, getting almost baptized in the Ganga River, I felt at home. I even celebrated my 21st birthday. And I was able to meet the awesome, powerful, strong women of my life in India. I did some dishes, I did some laundry, I held newborns. The Indian men laughed at me. They said, those are women's duties. I said, that's how I was raised. My mom and dad encouraged me to visit the temples in India. Now, Hinduism is a polytheistic religion with many gods and goddesses. So I found it ironic. Several times in India, I found men treating women as subservient. But as I went from temple to temple, they were worshiping deities. Like Parvati, the goddess of devotion. Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth. Then I realized again, women are strong. And worship. So I came back to Augusta, Georgia, and I married a beautiful Indian woman. Ashish Thakur. I married way up, past the moon. Yep. She went to Georgia Tech. So her motto in life is a process. Mine is life is a sales call. But there's a process to that sale. You have to persuade your kids, your parents, your clients, and your wife. So I joined the financial rat race. For 10 years, I worked for some of the globe's largest banks. And I decided to leave banking for the world of entrepreneurship. A big risk for an Indian leaving a stable career for the ventures of entrepreneurship. On a salary of popcorn and peanuts, while my wife brought home the bread, the bacon, the butter, and the broccoli. Very unusual in our culture for the woman to be the breadwinner. I started that company, the company failed, and I came and bounced back to my most successful career to date, which was an executive director of a nonprofit, mentoring youth around the world, businesses around the world, and entrepreneurs around the world. It's good to listen to your wife. Life is a process. Stay strong. Be strong, and you can bounce back. Renuka. Her name means Mother Nature. She is the nucleus of our family. An amazing woman, a daughter-in-law who gets along with her father-in-law. So, I elected them to be co-CEOs of our family, and I'm just the intern. And of course, my mom is chairwoman of the board. Now, the story that's not told is how women have made men who they are. That story seems to be lost. But today, I have mentioned all the wonderful women that have made me who I am, and they are superheroes. They rise first, they succeed first, they fly first, and they love first. And this is something I learned from my dad, who's also raised by a pack of wonderful and strong women. So men, reconnect and connect with the women in your life. Call your mom. Women, be patient with us. And guys, go take that feminist theater class. Namaste.